Hey everyone, something big is happening in Europe, and we need to talk about it. This isn't just another news story. It's a situation that could have far-reaching consequences for the entire continent. Slovakia, a country right next to Ukraine, just gave Ukraine a serious warning. This isn't just a diplomatic spat. It's a potential crisis that could affect millions of lives. They're saying they might stop helping Ukrainian refugees who came to Slovakia to escape the war. These refugees have already been through so much, and now they face even more uncertainty. Why? Because Ukraine stopped the flow of Russian gas through its pipelines. This decision has sent shockwaves through the region, affecting not just Slovakia but many other countries as well. This fight about energy has become a huge international problem that could cause trouble for the whole area. Energy is a lifeline for many countries, and any disruption can have serious consequences. So what's the big deal? Well, energy isn't just about keeping the lights on. It's about national security, economic stability, and even social peace. Ukraine decided to stop letting Russian gas pass through its land. This move is seen by some as a bold stand against Russian aggression. Some people think this is great because it hurts Russia. They see it as a way to weaken a country that has been a source of conflict and tension. But it's a problem for countries like Slovakia that depend on that gas. Without it, they face energy shortages, higher prices, and potential economic downturns. Now, Slovakia is worried about where it will get its energy, and their economy could suffer. The stakes are incredibly high, and the pressure is mounting. Slovakia's leader, Prime Minister Robert Fico, is really mad. He's not just concerned, he's furious, and he's making his feelings very clear on the international stage. He says Ukraine is using the gas as a weapon against his country. This kind of rhetoric only escalates the tension and makes a peaceful resolution more difficult. He's even threatened to stop helping Ukrainian refugees and cut off their electricity. These are drastic measures that could have severe humanitarian consequences. This situation shows how complicated things are in Europe right now. It's a tangled web of politics, energy, and human lives, and there's no easy solution. It's a reminder that peace can be fragile, and arguments about money can easily turn into big political fights. The balance of power is delicate, and any shift can have far-reaching effects. Everyone is hoping things can be worked out peacefully. Diplomacy and dialogue are more important than ever, and the world is watching closely to see what happens next. On January 1st, 2025, Ukraine did something that surprised a lot of people. In a bold and unprecedented move, they decided to take a stand that would reverberate across the continent. They shut off the pipelines that carry Russian gas to Europe. This action was not just a simple turn of a valve, it was a strategic maneuver with far-reaching implications. This might seem simple, but it's a really big deal. The pipelines are a crucial part of the energy supply chain for many European countries, and shutting them off sends a powerful message. It shows that Ukraine is ready to stand up to Russia, even if it's difficult. This act of defiance is a clear signal of Ukraine's determination to assert its sovereignty and resist external pressures. Ukraine's reason is simple. They want to stop Russia from making money from selling gas, money that Russia uses for the war. By cutting off this revenue stream, Ukraine aims to weaken Russia's financial ability to sustain its military operations. By stopping the gas flow, Ukraine is hitting Russia where it hurts, its wallet. This economic pressure is intended to force Russia to reconsider its aggressive policies. Countries that support Ukraine are happy about this. They see it as a necessary step to curb Russian influence. But there's a catch. Ukraine also makes money from letting the gas pass through. The transit fees are a significant source of revenue for the country. So by closing the pipelines, Ukraine is also hurting its own economy. This self-imposed economic strain shows the extent of Ukraine's commitment to its cause. This shows how far Ukraine is willing to go to resist Russia. The decision underscores the sacrifices Ukraine is prepared to make in its struggle for independence and security. Ukraine's decision also affects other countries. The ripple effects of this action are felt across Europe, particularly in nations heavily reliant on Russian gas. Slovakia depends on the Russian gas that goes through Ukraine. The sudden disruption in supply poses a significant challenge for the country. Now Slovakia is facing a big energy problem, and their economy could be in trouble. The broader European energy market is also likely to experience turbulence as a result of Ukraine's bold move. When Slovakia heard what Ukraine did, they were shocked. Prime Minister Robert Fico, who is known for being outspoken and friendly with Russia, was really angry. He said Ukraine was being sneaky and using the gas to gain power. Fico is worried about Slovakia's future. His country needs Russian gas, and now they don't have it. This could be a disaster for Slovakia's economy. Fico has given some angry speeches, saying that Ukraine is attacking Slovakia. He thinks Ukraine is doing what other powerful countries want, even if it hurts Slovakia. Fico isn't just mad at Ukraine, he's also blaming the European Union, saying they haven't protected Slovakia. He wants the EU to do something to help Slovakia get energy. Section 4. Refugees in the crosshairs. Slovakia's controversial bargaining chip. Things are getting worse, and Slovakia is now using Ukrainian refugees as bargaining chips. The situation has escalated to a point where the humanitarian crisis is being manipulated for political leverage. Prime Minister Fico said he might stop helping the Ukrainian refugees in Slovakia. His statement has sent shockwaves through the international community, raising concerns about the future of these displaced individuals. This is a terrible thing to do, and many people and organizations around the world are criticizing him for it. Human rights groups have condemned the move, calling it a blatant disregard for human dignity. They say he's using these vulnerable people for his own political gain. The international community is urging Slovakia to reconsider its stance and prioritize humanitarian aid over political maneuvering. Even people in Slovakia are angry about this. But Fico doesn't care. The public outcry within Slovakia is growing, with citizens demanding a more compassionate approach to the refugee crisis. He says Slovakia can't afford to help the refugees anymore, especially with the gas problem. The energy crisis has added another layer of complexity to the situation, making it even more challenging for the government to provide support. He wants Ukraine to turn the gas back on, saying that the well-being of Ukrainian refugees depends on it. This ultimatum has put additional pressure on Ukraine, complicating the geopolitical landscape. This situation shows how this fight about energy is hurting real people. The intersection of energy politics and human suffering is starkly evident in this crisis. It reminds us that behind all the politics, there are regular people suffering. The human cost of these political decisions is immense, and it is crucial to remember the faces and stories of those affected. Section 5. Europe on edge. The broader implications of the energy dispute. The fight between Slovakia and Ukraine is making the whole European Union nervous. It's showing how easily things can go wrong and how divided the EU can be. This whole thing is showing how much Europe depends on Russian gas. This makes them easy targets for Russia. It's also showing that the EU doesn't have a good plan for energy, and every country is just looking out for itself. The EU wasn't ready for this, and they're having a hard time figuring out what to do. Some countries are helping Slovakia, but others are worried about their own energy. This is a big test for the European Union. Will they work together, or will they fall apart? Section 6. Ukraine stands firm. Kyiv's response to Slovakia's threats. Even though Slovakia and Russia are putting pressure on Ukraine, Ukraine is not backing down. President Zelensky said Slovakia's threats are wrong. Zelensky says Ukraine has the right to control its own energy, especially with Russia attacking them. He says Russia is using energy to cause problems between European countries. Ukraine says they'll find other ways to help their refugees in Slovakia and get their own energy. They're asking other countries for help with money and energy. Ukraine also says Slovakia is taking Russia's side because Fico is friendly with Russia's leaders. They think Slovakia is just playing politics, not really worried about energy. Some people admire Ukraine for standing up to Russia and Slovakia, but it's a tough situation for them. Section 7. A looming showdown. The crucial meeting in Brussels. Everyone is watching Brussels, where leaders from Slovakia, Ukraine, and the EU are meeting on January 7th. This is a very important meeting. Slovakia wants the EU to make Ukraine turn the gas back on or help Slovakia find other energy sources. Ukraine doesn't want to change its mind. The EU is stuck in the middle and has to find a way to make both sides happy. If they don't, things could get much worse. This meeting in Brussels is a big moment. The decisions made there will affect not just Slovakia and Ukraine, but the whole European Union and the balance of power in Eastern Europe. The world is watching and hoping for a peaceful solution.